Hello, hello, YouTubers, diecast collectors. It is me, the J-Man 63, and it is rant time, guys. It is about brands again. I haven't made one of these about brands and stuff. I don't usually go on brands, but it's one that seems to pop up in feeds a lot. And I give them a lot of criticism because I give them a lot of hate. I always have. And people ask me, Jared, why do you hate so much on the budget models? I don't. I love 1/64th Hot Wheels, man. I love collecting some budget things. However, there's some 1/18th that people should be aware of, and Maisto is one of those brands that always seems to come up. People are going to get on me about making this video with the title, I see you out there. They're going to be like, Jared, you collect GMPs, you collect $100-something models. You're a snob. No. I have $20 or $30 Ertl models in my collection that just happen to go up in price. I collect Ertl. Ertl's a budget brand, so there's that. Now, in my opinion, maisto is a lot like McDonald's nowadays. They used to be a lot more on top of their game. They used to have a lot more detail, but nowadays, maisto used to be a little more like Arby's where they'd offer more for the money, but now maisto, in my opinion, has become a lot like McDonald's. They're both start with an M. You've probably made better decisions at 2 a.m. somewhere along the way, and maisto has become a lot like that. Why do I say that about maisto? Why do I always come back? Because a lot of brands have surpassed maisto in quality. M2 machines have even gotten better than them, and I would never thought I would be taking to the internet and even saying that, but M2 has really stepped it up on some things. Maisto, in my opinion, has become terrible. I've seen so many bad reviews of their cars. They've become a household Costco name. They are about as household with Costco as anything else. And I get it. There's a business everywhere. But in my opinion, there's only one good thing now I can say about Maisto, and that's that they make good bases for customizing. Everyone does customs on Maistos. But that's about it. They're a base for customizing. That's, in my opinion, that's it. I don't like maisto. I don't prefer them. They're not a preferred brand. Now, it all goes back to like the late 80s or 90s, back when they were more of a household staple. They used to have a lot more detail. They did. Maisto used to be good back when they had their premiere editions and stuff, and the special edition wasn't always taking front and center. But now everything has been reduced to like a small amount. They got rid of their higher end stuff. Whoa, dang, my ear just got blown up with a Facebook notification. That blew my ear off. So yeah, Facebook has gotten out of hand with these notifications. But man, Maisto is just, I don't know what to say. Maisto is a big example of how just because you can pay $15 or $20 for a model doesn't mean you probably should. And in my opinion, you're probably off with better with models like Shelby Collectibles. Some of the older Hot Wheels, if you're lucky, can be had for a little more money, depending on what 1/18th you get. And of course, I've already said some stuff on Facebook that's unfavorable in Maisto's opinion, and I'm pretty sure the admins on the Fanatic page are going to get upset like they always do. But as everyone gets all upset about when I say something, I'm like, yeah, they are. I can be honest. Maisto has become a lot like Mickey D's in a way. They've really decreased their quality, and McDonald's used to have good quality stuff. Same with Arby's. But Maisto has become that corner staple of things. And everything they've used to have complete motor blocks, now they've reduced to a plastic engine plate. They've reduced all of their standards. Everything about Maisto has completely dwindled. I don't collect them anymore. People look, they see, well, you have stuff that's toyish. Yeah, I have the Full Throttle Foost cars, and those were considered a budget model, but they were still pretty nice for what they were. I mean, I'm not going to pull one off the shelf, but I think you get my point because I've reviewed a Full Throttle 124 scale. and even that was better than some of the budget maistos I've seen nowadays. So again, maisto has really become, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of their stuff. They have really scraped the bottom of the barrel, and especially with their inclusion of the 2020 catalog. And then I saw what a shambles the new 2020 Shelby is, and I was disappointed. I saw the review. Immediately upon seeing that, I had to take to the internets and say, look, they have gotten bad, and the fitment's bad, the paint's bad, everything on it now. I could tell you everything what it is just by looking at the car. And I don't know what it is, but all of these budget brands, and people are going to look at me and they're going to see this shelf here and they're going to be like, whoa, Facebook just blew my ear off. We got a group conversation going on. So people see this and they say, wait, a lot of these are budget. Hold on. Yeah, some of them are. Yeah, Ming is a lot better in terms of fitment. And in fact, while I'm here, hold on. This is a group chat. Hold on. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm having some technical difficulties here. Dang it. People you blocked in this group. I'm going to leave this group. Yes, I'm confirming leaving. Oh, there we go. All right, guys, we're back on track. I had to leave my family conversation about my dad's mom. She's having issues. Sorry, I had to leave that conversation because it's gonna keep blowing up my ear if I don't leave it. It's gonna keep looming. Yes, maisto is, in my opinion, not great, and they have definitely become a decline. They've gotten rid of a lot of things in the new catalog, and like I said, I have seen the new Shelby, and even I'm going to say GT Spirit is better. And I always make the running joke when someone gets a maisto, I say, well, you could have overpaid for resin, but it still doesn't mean you should. So people will get mad at me. They probably are going to get up my butt in the comments section. They'll be like, oh, they're probably going to be like, he's a snob. I'm not a snob. I buy models that are cheap. I buy stuff that's under $70. People ask me, what do you consider a budget model? Well, nowadays, if you want to get anything good, most of the rhetoric is you got to pay $40, $45 usually to get in the game. Maisto, yeah, you can get $15 to get your foot wet in the door, but if you really want to experience more in the diecast world, usually you have to pony up about 30 more bucks to get something decent. And people look, they're like, what's your least expensive model? Well, I do happen to have one maisto. I have a Captain America Corvette, and that's just because I got it on trade free with posters, and that was the only reason I wanted it. Otherwise, I would have left it, and it would have never gotten home with me. But I have a 1/18th maisto 67 vet, but again, that's 90s maisto as opposed to modern day. And yes, they had a good lineup. They had a good run. But in my opinion, maisto is quickly dwindling. And I think of maisto as a big communist company. I don't support them. But then again, everything is made in China. But maisto has just become the absolute, in my opinion, they've become the epitome of just cheap brand diecast. And even there's brands that have surpassed them. People are going to ask me, like, well, what brands do you think are better? I'm like, well, for example, Motor Max is better. Motor Max is decent. There's a lot of brands that have surpassed them. Motor Max is even better than them. Shelby Collectibles, there's a lot of better brands. And then people are going to see my collection and they're like, well, you're a snob. I'm like, well, yes, I have a lot of GMPs, but that doesn't account for all my collection. I have like 40, I have like 20, 15, probably 20 GMPs, and a lot of stuff under the Greenlight umbrella. But again, people look at my collection and say, wait, you pay $1 for Dollar Tree stuff. I was like, that's a different ballpark. That's a different scale. I'm talking about 1/18th scale, the large scale. But yeah, in my opinion, you can do better than maisto. Yes. I don't really like them very much. And of course, people are going to get all uppity with me. And it's your right. And if you want, we can duke it out in the comments section. But in the meantime, I am not a fan of them. They have really gone downhill. They've reduced their lineup gradually, and everything they've come out with now is something I would give to maybe a 4-year-old to play with, probably. And people are like, "Wait, you collect yeah, well, I don't collect stuff that's toyish like that." Um, People are gonna look at me, they're like, "You're like that guy who has that cappuccino." Well, I'm not, I don't have a cappuccino machine, but people look at me, they're like, "You're like that guy." No, I'm not. I don't go to Starbucks. So don't judge me. I don't do Starbucks. I don't drink them, but people are going to judge me. They're gonna be like, "You're that guy." I'm like, "Yeah, well, my buddy calls me a yuppie all the freaking time and won't shut up about that. I'm a high-end yuppie. I'm up my butt about collecting." Of course, people say that. Well, I prefer to get more for the money usually. Depends on what it is. Of course, I do try to get models for cheap. And honestly, if you look hard enough in my collection, hold on, let me get to it. See that ZZ Top car? I paid 25 bucks for that, and look at the finish already on that car. It's very nice. Paid $40, $30 for that Merc. Down here, I think my friend Don sold me that one for cheap. See, there are better brands. There's First Gear. There's all kinds of other stuff. If you really wanted some of the older stuff, you can do way better than maisto, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. And again, everyone's gonna have their own. But again, it comes up in Discord, but I've never thought highly of them, and I can say that enough because there's way better stuff out there. Like I said, just because you can get a model for 15 or 20 bucks, the good rule of thumb, you usually got to pay 30, 35. Usually 40 or $50 will get you something decent, but um, in my opinion, maisto is like the stuff I was collecting when I was living with my mom, and now I've changed so much in terms of collecting, in terms of tastes, and my opinion, maisto used to have a finger on the pulse of things, but now the team transport stuff's okay, but I say that enlightened, it's okay. But I can't think until maisto ups its game a little more that I'm going to be buying them anytime soon. And a lot of the maisto stuff has become kind of Jada level tier, in my opinion. But I'm curious to see your thoughts. I'm very tired. But yeah, and I know I'm growing it out. I got a regular Bocephus going on now, but of course people are gonna get on me in the comments. I know that. But they're gonna be like, "God, you're such a snob." Yeah, well, I can't talk highly of maisto. I'm sorry, I can't. Because they become like that. Anyway, guys, have a good one. It's the J-Man 63. I figured you want to hear a little talk about this, but if you have any transgressions about this, you can always address me in the comments. But again, I can't say much highly about them because that's what they become. Anyway, guys, have a good one. Bye.